Hi, Summit Committee attendees. This is Raylin Chen from Taiwan. My talk is using OpenStreetMap and Wikidata to arrange river data in Taiwan. It will focus on the local experience. And the background image of the first slide is a typical river and the mountain area in Taiwan. The river is not wide and not much water in the river. And my online ID is Superflex. I'm an active contributor of OpenStreetMap and Wikipedia in Taiwan. I'm also a board of directors of Wikimedia Taiwan, an NGO that its role is promoting Wikimedia activities in Taiwan. And then in Taiwan, the OpenStreetMap and Wikidata Taiwan community hold monthly meetup in Taipei every month in most based Taipei. And even during the COVID-19 pandemic, we still have hold events. Only one that is forced to be virtually held. And for the OpenStreetMap Taiwan, we have a very close relationship with Wikidata Taiwan, Wikimedia communities, civil hackers like GOVs in Taiwan. And right now, the OpenStreetMap Taiwan community have mapped all the Taiwan village borders and linked it to Wikipedia and Wikidata. And recently, there's a trend to know more about local stuff. So we also add Aboriginal tribes in their own language, and also other ethnic language name labels like Taiwanese Hokkien, Taiwanese Hakka, and Taiwan government have also established several open data protocol, and the license allowed to import to OpenStreetMap. So they have some data import, like public bicycle and bus stop. And this is all style Facebook map using data from OpenStreetMap, attribute OSM. And Facebook used to leave nodes directly OpenStreetMap node system. And the community in Taiwan is also, back that day, we also solved those nodes. And here's some local mapping, OpenStreetMap, the canon style of the Taipei street. Give us an idea of what about the data in Taiwan. And here is the open railroad map. It highlights railroad subway lines of Taipei. And here is the other public map style. We can see the numerous bus line in Taipei. Here is the standard OSM mapnik style. And this is more focused on bicycle infrastructure, the cycle OSM. And I have to highlight this style. This style is part of the data from OpenStreetMap and part of the data from DEM, from Taiwan government. It is a routing map. It focuses on hiking purpose. So Taiwanese hiker will use a routing map to plan their hiking trip in the Taiwan mountains area. And for ordinary people, we also use routing map and some hills around the city areas. And for some collaboration between the Wikidata, we have the Wiki Project, Taiwan Water Project, and also one with working with the government, the water resource agencies. And that will be the highlight today because we're talking about the Taiwanese River. And right now, we have some important rivers that is managed by Taiwan central government. And most of them are linked, all of them are linked, add OSM relation ID. And some are linked to the Wikidata QID. And before we talk further more, we have to introduce the Taiwanese Hokkien because most of the rivers in Taiwan have the suffix Hui It is orange from Taiwanese Hokkien. Taiwanese Hokkien is significant language because it traces orange from Old Chinese and mostly heavy influence on Middle Chinese. And there are some influence from Australasian language. For example, the suffix "kang" might have some connection with Mekong, the river in Southeast Asia. Here is a list of common river suffix in Taiwan Hokkien, like gang, kui, gang, gao, king, these terms. And here is a language view. The Taiwanese Hokkien belongs to Ming varieties traced from Old Chinese and evolved from Middle Chinese. And we also have some water terms that is from Mandarin Chinese, like he is a suffix, and it's both in Mandarin Chinese and Taiwanese Hokkien, like Keelung River, Tam Shui River. It might have some connection because in the recent times, Mandarin influence Taiwanese Hokkien. And I also have to mention Sui. It is from Old Chinese. And in the old time, it just means the Yellow River. Then it becomes the suffix for rivers. And for example, like Han River, Wei River, these names. And for Taiwanese Hakka, and for Yan Hakka, they use Heba for rivers. And there are many place names related to water, like Huijiu means land between waterways. And Qingping is a district in Taipei metro area. Its meaning is deep valley cut by Rob River. And Kuidao means the orange of the river. And for the Daojinghui, it is a river in Hsinchu area. It means the river in front of you. And for the river in the central Taiwan, the longest one, the Daozuikui, it means river water that is turbid. And here is an overview of river in Taiwan for a geographic point of view. The depth of Taiwan rivers are short. And second, the elevation between orange and mouth might be thousands of meters difference, but in a very short distance. The third one is there is a very difference between the dry season and wet season. And the wet of typhoon season, there will be full water in the riverbed. But during the dry season, the riverbeds are almost empty and can even drive a car in the riverbed. The fourth is there's a water management issue in Taiwan. So we build reservoirs in the Taiwanese mountains area. And the fifth is in the city area, there's a pollution problem of the rivers. And some people care about it. And for the data point of view, there are many duplicate names, like the Lozuikei. There are many Lozuikei in Taiwan. And the total Lozuikei in Taiwan is 11. So we have to have a way to deal with this kind of issue. So one way is to know where does the river is located. And the second is we have some detailed metadata. So which countries orange the river. And the third one is more a data approach, is give each river a unique ID. Then we can distinguish by the computer way. So, but for the ordinary people, we look up the river data by maps, Google Maps, or from basic information by look up at Wikipedia. But fortunately, that is not enough. And everybody knows Google Maps, but if you search in Google Maps, there are no GIS9 feature for like Tam Shui River. And so Google Maps has integrated search results with the Google search. And sometimes you can link to Wikipedia article or some top international websites like YouTube or Trip.com to have some basic information about Tam Shui River. And for the Taiwan official government main map, the Taiwan Map Service Journal Map, there are also no geometric line features for Dam Shui River. And for the Wikipedia, there's some rivers have Wikipedia articles, but not every river in Taiwan have a Wikipedia article. And for the government data point, they know about this problem, how to distinguish between rivers and with the same name. So they have rolled out a river called the Taiwan. And we have also mentioned the journal map of Taiwan. Unfortunately, they just have the access by the WMTS. And we have to pay for getting the real data. And right now, the problem we call the Taiwan is, the first one is they only have those big rivers in its important branches. And the second is the GIS files might only for the big rivers. And ordinary people have no access of these data sets. And third is some rivers don't have detailed metadata. So the government, the communities know about this river problem. So they decide they work together. And from the OpenStreetMap and Wikidata community, they know about these international platforms, so they can easily utilize this platform and have a more flexible way and new tools to deal about the problem. And for the government side, they have the merge that have the 6 manpower, but they have to spend more time to know what the citizen wants. And for the community disadvantages, the community members will come and leave. So we have to keep the motive of the communities. And from the ordinary citizen, what we want to know about the river, the orange, the mouth, and the basic data like where does the river flow through which countries. And the last community have stepped up and decided they want to tackle this problem. They've had numerous meetings with the government, and they're known about their AirBox. The AirBox is a community-driven air quality monitor IoT device, because in Taiwan, there are air quality big monitor station that is fixed, but unfortunately, the numbers are just a few. So sometimes the air quality number is good, but for some citizens, their children have running noise. So they know there's something wrong with the air quality. So they decide to monitor the air quality itself and distribute these AirBox IoT device and where they can get access. And right now, the last community want to tackle the water quality problem. So the first step is get some basic river data. Right? So they mentioned before that they have meeting with the government and on-site survey to make sure some basic information about the location of the branches flow into the main rivers. And this is local press review about the community. The last. There's an on-site survey and meeting. So from the community view, what can OpenStreetMap and Wikidata do? And the most important part is there are access to the database cross-link with each party. Like Wikidata can link to OpenStreetMap, the river code from the Taiwan government, and could extend to other external databases like GNS and GeoNames. All of them also could link to Wikidata, river code, and other external databases. And by doing cross-link with each other, we can help the standardize of river data and the flexible way activities of community and also the authority of the government. And recently, the Taiwanese government river data set Open Data has recently added Wikidata QID column. And here is our past query of OSM River in Taiwan. We have over 1,050 rivers relation in OpenStreetMap in Taiwan. And here is the OSM River data, temperature river basin polygram data. And here's an advanced query example that can see where does the river distribute around Taiwan. And from Wikidata, we can Wikidata has the ability to record lingual names of river and keep record of the location, the river mouth, the orange. And the Wikidata can cross-link to external database like OpenStreetMap, Region ID, and Taiwan River Code. And here's the Wikidata query service results. We have totally 1,636 waterways in Taiwan, which include man-made waterways. So right now we just handle river and streams. So one day we have to extend to the man-made waterway like canal. And this is the one that I mentioned for the Taiwanese government open data data set. The river code list recently added the Wikidata column. So in this screenshot, you can see two rivers have the corresponding Wikidata QID. And for the future, we want to add all the OSM relation ID to Wikidata item. And right now, not every Wikidata item has OSM relation ID. And also combined with geonames, thanks to Wikipedia Chubei. And there are still many Taiwanese river and stream not exist on Wikidata. So we still have plenty of editing work to do. So we have to have some quick statement branch editing to do. And also we have to link OpenStreetMap and Wikidata to external database and adding the corresponding local language, the Taiwan natural language, like Taiwanese Hokkien, but also Taiwanese Hakka, and also the international name in English. And you can find me on these channels. So any questions about my slides?